Good afternoon, everyone. As gasoline prices drop, booze costs soar. Record unemployment, people are angry. Farmers dumping corn outside Trudeau's office. Droughts emerging across South America. Dust storms off of Saudi Arabia offshore. Locust swarms signaling a repeat of history where a cradle of civilization, once milk and honey lands, now returns out of the desert multi-millennia cycle. And a quick way for you to connect with your local cattle producers, know your farmer. As Americans seek economic direction during the health crisis, Bank of America is predicting gold to nearly double to above $3,000 per ounce. And gold is often the most sought-after investment hedge to protect wealth during times of economic uncertainty. And with nearly 40 million jobs lost, I'd say these are about as uncertain as times get. With never-ending printing by the Fed, we're fighting an uphill inflationary battle. And no doubt America will recover. However, in 2009, it took many investors at least 7 years to get back the gains lost during the Great Recession. With this much inflation on the way, only one investment stands out: gold. Patriot Gold Group has no fee-for-life IRAs where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold or silver. At Patriot, you work directly with an owner and avoid paying absurd broker fees. Call today or request a free investment kit. PatriotGoldGroup.com. The link's in the description box below. And with all the talk of food costs going up, let's just add another thing, tick another box, booze costs going up as well. Well, at least the gasoline prices are plunging, but on the reverse and inverse of this, anything alcohol, price up. Yeah, they're just taking advantage of the situation. Same way that federal government spending vertical, who do you think is going to pay for that? You and I, eventually when we get the bill with the reset of the dollar. After the Fed nationalizes all means of production in public companies, get ready for it. Then our politicians saying they care about us and they want to give you a $1,200 stimulus package. Wow, giving trillions to the banks yet again. 2008, bailed out. Now, bailed out again. And you're getting $1,200. Awesome. Why is nobody asking questions about that? Historical unemployment rate. Banks raking in trillions and people scraping by, non-farm payrolls, record. And you can see why farmers are angry too. Not only the individuals are angry at so many issues, which they have right to be. There's so many things to think about that just seem off, unless you're looking at grand solar minimum crop losses and governments trying to position to control the populace before the food riots start. And now we have these angry farmers dumping corn outside Trudeau's Montreal office. Canadians experience the same thing. They're going to have to till under these crops because they can't get to market. Leaving the crops to rot is criminal across North America and Europe. Why don't the governments allow the towns and cities closest to these areas to go out and pick it, pay the farmers directly, even take it for free instead of tilling it under? Head over to usabeef.org, reach out to your local cattle producer, and obviously cattle producers, they're going to know the vegetable producers around the area too, so connecting with one allows you an avenue to connect with others. Please go local. Let's just cut the supply chain of globalist corporations right here. We don't need them any longer. Find your own food locally because this is the way we're going to have to start moving forward. Real simple to use the site. I use Tennessee as an example here. It shows you the telephone number, farm name, what type of beef they have, and then if they offer pickup or delivery. Again, if we're going to go into a decentralized food production system, this is your first step because these food prices are going to start skyrocketing, especially with all this money printing. Unbelievable. And this experiment of all time ever, just dollars for zero and print away. They're looking at something like 16 to 20 trillion additional dollars over the next year. That's going to put our balance sheet somewhere around 45 trillion. And you think your money's going to buy the same amount of food as it does today? Are you looking across the planet where something, the quickest rises in the last 50 years, 2 months? And then the personal consumption driving imports, there's very few imports coming back. So electronics that you used to buy for a few $100 are now going to cost you $1,000. The lack of imports, fine. But the number of dollars chasing the very amount of limited imports is going to drive the cost up. And you might very well get priced out of the market. And speaking of getting priced out, taking a look down at Brazil here, and areas Central South America starting to show very dry conditions across the croplands. And I thought that's really interesting. Paraguay, Argentina as well. Going to white out on that for you. But look up at Venezuela. And this is for the full 90-day rain total anomalies. So above or below, you can see the color code at the bottom there. Red, orange, and yellow is what you're looking at, especially if it's in a crop zone. And then following on that with the USDA, this is a soil moisture map. So a little bit different than rainfall. It's about the amount of moisture that's contained in the soil, but the same. Look how dry it is in certain areas. And again, pointing back to Venezuela, down to those same areas of Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay. Prices up there as well. Unemployment up there as well. Labor shortages, things not being planted, crops not being harvested. We are in bizarro world with our food supply at the moment. I quite enjoyed this story here. Thunderstorms, shelf clouds, sandstorm heading offshore into the Red Sea. Here at Jazan, visible on the map for you, just north of Yemen, where there's been an enormous amount of disturbance in 3.5 years worth of rain in a single day. This area across the planet in the Middle East is becoming so unstable and rain saturated. This image here pretty much sums up what's happening in the Middle East with a change from desert conditions into more field-like enormous amounts of vegetation growing, something that hasn't been seen in thousands of years. But the atmospheric disturbances are occurring all across Central Africa. And another one here, Niger, just a few days back. Pretty intense. You can check out the video of the storm chasers in Niamey. And what did I mean by 1,000-year changes here in the Middle East, North Africa? Well, we're going to use the locusts to allow us to identify where the new major grow zones are coming online here across the dry, formerly dry Middle East. Now, locusts aren't going to be there if there's nothing for them to eat. So the swarms is what we want to look at. I chose this map particularly because of the swarm density shown in red. Why are those locusts there? Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, and as you can see over in Eastern Africa, in Somalia all the way down to Kenya, Tanzania. And if we look back in history, we will find a place called Mesopotamia, Cradle of Civilization. Cuneiform texts, Sumerians, Assyrians. Ring a bell? Bone-dry desert right now, everybody fighting for oil. But a few thousand years ago, lush, verdant river valleys, milk and honey. So I put this worldview here with a couple different layers for photosynthesis and also refractivity of leaf and vegetation. So as I talk you through this slide here, green is more vegetation growing. Yellow is more vegetation growing. Where it's not growing is that dark brown you see, that's desert sand. Anything that's red is just starting to come on and begin just enough refractivity where plants are noticeable from the satellites. Top is 2009, bottom 2019. Do you see any difference? Do you see any denser green? That's the reason the locusts are there. As multi-thousand-year rain patterns return, this is going to become incredibly valuable real estate to grow crops when we cannot grow it in Canada. Parts of North America, China going offline, too far north, grow season's too short now, but the rains are shifting. Watch everything start to focus over here into Central Africa as the news feeds come into record high food pricing, the saber rattling with China. when the reset's occurring with the currency, with the economy, and with the very civilization that we exist in. In this world we're descending into, you're going to have to be more self-sufficient. You're going to have to grow some of your own food moving forward. The supply chains, as you see, are starting to shatter across the planet. How quickly will they come back, if ever? Not sure. Well, part of that supply chain involves your food supply. So I highly encourage you to start practicing how to grow food in any way, shape, or form you can. In your house, in a garden, on your roof, it doesn't matter. Planting season's now. And here's one of my favorite seed companies that I personally use. I do a lot of microgreens and my own garden. TrueLeafMarket.com. They have heirloom and organic seeds for any grow zone within the United States, North America. And when I say heirloom, I mean you can save the seeds after you grow it to then have that for another crop. You can't do that with GMO, but you can with heirloom seeds. True Leaf Market is your first stop, and they have other garden supplies, grow trays, and everything you might need to help yourself get started. Take a look at what they have. The link's in the description box below. It's a way to support the channel, and it's a way to support your lifestyle as well. Everybody, win, win, win all the way around. So thanks for watching the video, and times are changing so quickly here. Anyway, I'm going to keep bringing you information, and I'll see you next time.